One second.
Hello, I'm Freddie Fields. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out and attending today, and we hope you're excited about this. I wanted to take a moment and let our little workers here introduce themselves to you.
My name's Cassidy Hammonds. I'm from Dryden Elementary School.
My name's Barry Beauty and I'm from St. Charles Elementary School.
My name is Austin Golders and I'm from Rose Hill Elementary School.
My name is Morgan Pollier and I'm from Jonesville Middle School.
My name is Johnny Satterfield, and I'm from Jonesville Middle School.
Welcome to our live event with Master Falconer, Mitch Whitaker. Mitch Whitaker is joining us from the Letcher County Extension Office. He works with and rehabilitates birds of prey. The Letcher County Wildlife Rehabilitation and Education Center is a unique treasure in Central Appalachia. Located off the bypass in Whitesburg, Kentucky, the facility houses injured birds of prey that are native to the area. Owls and hawks are cared for at the facility until the birds are ready to be released back into the wild. Birds that are unable to be released due to injuries are placed in the center's educational program. Educational birds are transported to schools, organizations, and events where they are presented by Master Falconer Mitch Whitaker.
The Reptar program reached over 7,000 kids last year and has done over 100 programs this year, delivering their message in wildlife education and conversation. The role of these mysterious and beautiful creatures in our environment and how we interact is also a goal of the program. Master Falconer Mitch Whitaker.
I want to thank those girls for such a good introduction. Also, I want to thank Freddie and Cindy for putting on this digital day here. As they said, part of our program is to rehabilitate wild birds of prey. These animals come to us from folks that have reported these animals to the Fish and Wildlife Departments or the Game or Inland Fisheries. These animals have received injuries. The goal of our program is to actually rescue these animals and try to see if we can get these animals back out into the wild. We have a veterinarian that works with us, and the main goal is to take care of these animals. However, sometimes these animals receive injuries that will keep them from being able to be returned back into the wild. Sometimes these animals may lose a wing or an eye, which normally these animals would have to be euthanized or put down. But we're very fortunate to have our program through our 4-H that we're able to keep these birds through special permission and special permits. And we're allowed to keep these animals and use them as educational tools and bring them out to schools and events such as this. We don't drive around looking for these injured birds. The way we find out about them is through folks just like you that see these animals and you report it, and we're able to come out and get these animals. Our program has been going now for about 7 years, and in those 7 years, we've rescued about 180 birds, but out of those 180 birds, we've only been able to return about 30 to the wild. So you can see most of the time, it's not always the happy ending when we receive these birds. And then once these birds do come to us and they're transferred into our educational program, we'll keep these birds for as long as they live. As I get our first bird out, I'd like for everyone to keep in mind that these are wild animals. As we get them out here and they look at the folks that are here, they're going to look at those folks and they're going to look at them as dangers. These animals naturally stay away from humans. Usually these animals don't get injured out in the woods. They usually get injured when they come in contact with us humans. So as I get our first bird out, let's all try to be as quiet as we possibly can to see if we can keep this guy from being as stressed. When we get him out, you will notice he will exhibit stress, even though we've had this bird for about 7 years. Doesn't matter if we kept him for 20 years, this bird would never, ever, ever become a pet. These animals are wild animals. Okay, guys, the first bird we have today is a great horned owl. This guy's name is Dexter. Dexter, wave at all the folks out there today. Dexter is a great horned owl, and it's the largest owl that we have here in the central Appalachian Mountains. Sometimes the great horned owl is also called a tiger owl, and we can see from his camouflage outfit where this name could come from. This wild animal has to have survival tools and skills that helps it to survive out in the wild. These animals have a camouflage outfit, as you notice on the front, that helps them to blend in with many different types of background. All Dexter has to do is turn around, and you'll notice he has a completely different colored outfit on the back. This camouflage outfit will help him stay hid from predators. There's lots of animals that would like to get a hold of Dexter, and with this outfit, it might help him to blend in a little better with the background. Not only can his camouflage outfit help to stay hid from predators, it could also help Dexter to sneak up on his prey. These animals do not eat bird seed or grass or strawberries. These animals eat live animals. They eat birds, lizards, and frogs and snakes. And through this special diet, they're able to get all the hydration that they need to survive. Now, that's a pretty unique survival skill if these animals are able to go without drinking water by getting all the liquid that they need through the animals that they kill. We think of it a couple of weeks back here in Virginia and Kentucky, we had some cold weather. There was 3-4 days where the temperature was below freezing. The other wild animals were having a hard time finding something to drink. But these animals that got all their hydration through the animals, all they had to do was keep eating animals and they would stay hydrated. So again, a big survival tool. The next thing we notice is their big eyes. The great horned owl's eyeballs are actually about the same size as a human's eyeball. The only difference is us humans were able to shift our eyes from side to side. Owl's eyes are locked straight in their head. Now you may think if his eyes are locked straight in his head, how's he able to see around? Well, we can notice him turning his head around. Oftentimes, these animals have been, the myth that these animals can turn their head completely around isn't all completely true. Us humans, we can turn our heads all the way to the right and all the way to the left. Imagine if you could turn your head all the way to the right and could continue turning it just a little bit more and could look behind you in the same way to the left. You would be able to see all the way around you, but your head really doesn't turn around. These guys are able to do that and turn their head about 270 degrees, and they're able to do that because they have 14 bones in their neck. Us humans, we only have 7, so these guys have twice as many bones in their neck, which allows them to twist their heads. The next thing we notice around his eyes are those big facial discs, the big circles that are around the outside of his eyes. You may think that's part of his supervision, which he does have supervision. He's able to see 10 times better than us humans. But actually, the big disc around his eyes are part of his super hearing. These guys' ear holes are not like us humans and symmetrical, even on both sides, the same distance from their shoulders. Their ear holes are actually asymmetrical, which means they're not even. This guy, actually, one of his ear holes is below his eye. The other one is a little bit above his eye. They're facing forward, unlike our ear holes. And when they hear a sound, they're able to locate the sound and angulate where the sound is coming from. And then with the facial disc, they're able to amplify that sound. Just like as if one of us was out in a field and we were listening to someone holler, we may put our hand up to our ear so we can hear better. That's what the owls are doing. They're able to corral those sound waves right into their ear holes. You're noticing he's pulsing his strobe light, I call it. That's a defense mechanism. He's around all these humans and he's sort of saying, hey, you humans, back up, back up. He's not thirsty or not hungry. This is just one of those defense mechanisms. You may have noticed when I got him out of the box, he made a hissing sound and clicked his beak. That's just one of those things to let us humans know, hey, back up there, you're too close. Normally, this guy would never stay here this long if he was able to fly. This guy would have flew off long before we got a look at him.
Okay, here we are.
We have this guy as an educational tool. We would never get this close to one of these guys out in the wild. So to be able to have one here up close to look at
and to understand and to study some of these characteristics is a valuable educational tool. We notice, you'll notice I'm wearing a glove that's made of leather. It's actually made of 3 layers of leather. And if Dexter really, really wanted to, and he has before, squeeze hard enough with his talons to actually poke through these leather gloves. Now, the reason we like to tell everyone about this, as I said earlier, we don't go out looking for these birds. People call and tell us there's one injured in their backyard. And I'd like to say that too. If, most of the time we get the phone calls from folks and they say there's an owl in our backyard and we can walk right up to it. You should never be able to walk right up to these animals. There's usually something probably wrong with them. They're hurt. They may be starved out. And one of these days, there's a possibility one of you may walk up on one of these animals. You're going to be this big giant standing over top of it. He's probably going to be hurt or starved and scared. And you're going to reach down to pick him up and say, I'm going to take him back over to that fella over in Letcher County. And this guy's going to reach out with these talons and really hurt you. So we like to tell everyone that when you see one of these animals injured, don't get hurt trying to rescue this guy. We see a lot of these animals injured on the side in the roadways. Don't get out there and get yourself run over trying to rescue one of these animals. All we ask is that you give us a call. You can also contact the Department of Game and Inland Fisheries, and they will direct you to us or give us your phone number. But again, we don't want anyone getting injured and hurt with these birds. These animals are special birds. They are protected. You're not allowed to have these animals. You're not allowed to hunt them, trap them, shoot them, eat them, or anything like that. The only way that we're allowed to have these birds is through special permission from the Fish and Wildlife. It's not that we're special people. It's that these birds are special and need special care. You can't just take these guys and put them in a dog pen and throw in hot dog weenies and expect these animals to survive. They have to have special care and special needs. That's why we're very fortunate as an educational facility to get this special permission to get to bring these birds out so we can study and learn about them. These birds also serve a very valuable use for us as well. When we get young birds in, we have to be very careful not to let young birds see a human every day feeding them. During those early periods in their development, if they start associating food with a human, that's not a good sign. We wouldn't be able to release those birds back into the wild because they would be dependent on humans. So we use these birds that are at our facility to help us with the younger birds during feeding time. We usually feed them together. That way the food is never associated to us humans. So these guys not only serve as great educational tools for us, but they're sort of foster parents to help us rear and raise the other young. I've got other birds that I would like to show you, some more of our native common birds that you will see around here. Dexter, go ahead and wave bye to these folks and we'll show them the other bird. Our next bird is probably one of our most common owls that we have here in Central Appalachia. I'm sure all of you have been out on a good warm evening and be at the edge of the woods and you'll hear an owl go, oh, 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 oh. If you do, it's probably going to be one of these guys.
Oh, so pretty.
Okay, this is one of our most popular and most common owls. You do notice some differences in him. We notice we don't see the same tufts. We see a little difference in the size, but this guy still has those same survival skills and tools that Dexter has. We do see the facial disc. We do see the supervision. We see the talons. And as well, we see the crooked beak. This guy is full grown, and we do notice the size between him and Dexter. If you would have seen this owl out, you may have thought that he was a baby horned owl, but these birds, guys, are all born in the springtime. And unlike us humans, it takes us 18 years to get as tall as we're going to get. Birds get as big as they're going to get the first 4 months of their life. They're born in the spring. Usually by the time fall comes around, these guys are as big as they're ever going to be. They may change a little color. They may have a different eye color as the years pass, but their size will still be great. Will still be about the same size. Now this owl, as I said, has a very unique feature that makes him easy to recognize. Across his chest here, he has a separate set of feathers that run horizontal, and they make like a bar across his chest. And that's how he gets his name. He's a barred owl, B-A-R-R-E-D. The reason I spell it is sometimes we do get confused. There's another owl called a barn, B-A-R-N. And sometimes these owls are confused. The barn owl is a much smaller owl. He has a white heart-shaped face. But the barred owl is our most common owl that we have around here. It's safe to say that there's one of these in just about every city from here up the Appalachian Ridge. These guys are the easiest to recognize. They're the only owls that we'll see here that has a solid black eye. If you noticed Dexter a while ago, he had yellow eyes with black pupils. This guy has a solid black eye. He is our most common and the one that we hear every night. Our program, guys, is also to, when we get these birds in, oftentimes, such as this bird and with Dexter, we know immediately that these birds are not going to be able to be returned to the wild. The veterinarian lets us know that these animals will probably be with us as long as they live. But sometimes we do get those birds that are going to have that possibility of being returned to the wild. If we put these birds in a stall and we feed them till they get back up to their weight or whatever, a lot of times these guys will turn into, their muscles will turn into marshmallow. They lose that good conditioning, that strength that they need when we release them back out into the wild. Our next bird is one of those birds that we're actually working with, guys, in hopes that we can return it someday to the wild. I'll get him out and let you guys see him.
Whoa. Mr. Whitaker, can you move this way?
All right, this next bird, guys, we don't see him much, but it's a bald eagle. Nah, I'm just kidding with you. I'm just kidding with you. We've just got a white hood on him to make him appear to be like a bald eagle. This is actually, guys, a red-tailed hawk, and we can tell by his tail feathers. But this guy does have the possibility of being returned back to the wild. The reason, you notice he's still flaring up quite a bit. He's not as tame or as used to being around humans as Dexter is. This guy was actually ready to be released about 3 weeks ago. What we try to do with these birds, though, is to release them back into an environment or close to a place that we think is going to have their best chances of survival. We also don't want these birds to be put back out into the wild during the coldest times in January and February. So we're holding on to this guy for at least a couple more weeks. And this guy is one of those projects that when we got him, we had to ensure that this guy didn't get flabby or out of shape while we had him under our care. So what we've been doing with this guy, each day when it comes time for his feeding, we made him fly to us for his food. And this is also used in the sport of falconry. Falconry is an ancient sport where you use these animals to chase after quarry and games like squirrels and rabbits. And we use those same techniques to keep this guy in shape. Now, what we did each day was, instead of us throwing food into him like we do for Dexter and the other birds, we actually made this guy fly to us for his food. He didn't really know that he was getting exercise, but that was the goal of our program, was to make sure that this guy stayed exercised and stayed in condition. And hopefully in a couple more weeks, we're going to be able to release this guy back out into the wild. And he's one of those happy stories. This is a male red-tailed hawk. And if you'll notice from his chocolate-colored eyes, he's at least 5 years old. These birds, when they're young, they have different eyes and different colors. Actually, his first year, he doesn't have red tail feathers. When we do see a bald eagle and we see that beautiful white head like this guy has, that is a mature bird. It takes eagles at least 5 years before they are mature enough to have the white head. So we do like to take this guy out to programs and schools and stuff while we have him to just highlight what our program is actually about. Hopefully this guy will let me put the hood back on him and we'll be able to put him back up. The Letcher Eagles call us a whole lot to be their mascot. I've got one other really quick bird I'd like to get out. I'd like to ask everyone in the library here to please remain in their seats. This next animal is probably one of our most aggressive owls that we have in the Appalachian Mountains. If this guy was to get loose, he may attack someone, so please everyone stay in your seats. This animal is very ferocious and he could attack. Easy, big guy. Easy, easy. All right.
Oh, I want that.
Thank you all so much for not running. This ferocious beast would have really hurt someone. So, but when we look at him, we all do laugh and we think he's just a cute little bird. But let's look a little closer. We see that camouflage outfit. We see the facial disc around his eyes. We do see the super vision, the super hearing. And if you look really, really close, they may not be as big as Dexter's, but this guy has some needle sharp talents.
You can bring him up close to the camera too, and the kids out there can get a closer look. And I can get a closer look.
This is a Eastern screech owl. He is full grown. He's as big as he's ever going to be. We notice he has a red rufous color. Sometimes here in the Appalachian Mountains, we have gray ones, but most of them that we see are the red. They're called a screech owl because of the sound that they make of the nighttime when they're calling out, and it is a very screech sound. These guys are, as I said, as big as they're ever going to get. And when we look at these animals and we see today the 3 different sizes of these owls, perfect. We've seen the large owls, we've seen the medium size, and we've even come down to the little small screech owl. I've told you today about these special permits and special permission that these guys afford, why these guys are protected and taken care of. And we may ask ourselves, why are these animals so important? Well, let's look at bats. Bats eat pounds and pounds of mosquitoes every night. If all of a sudden we lost all of our, I hear you making a sound? If we lost all of our bats, we wouldn't be able to even,
Yeah, I hear him. Yeah.
we wouldn't even be able to come out to programs and events like this today. We wouldn't be able to come out of our homes because there would be so many mosquitoes and bugs. Let's think about bees. 1 in every 3 bites of food that you'll eat today was helped produced by a bee pollinating the plant. What if all of a sudden we lost all of our bees? We would lose 1/3 of all of our food. Now, let's bring it home to these guys. The little guys, not even the big owls, but the little one. In one summer, raising their babies, a mommy owl, daddy owl, and 3 little owlets, in one summer, one family would eat over.
Okay, everybody in the chat saying we want him.
But they would eat 1,000 mice in one summer. What if all of a sudden we lost these guys? We would be run over with snakes and lizards and mice, and they would be running everywhere. They'd be in our schools and our grocery stores and in our homes. So I think that it's a great opportunity and a great platform, Cindy, for us to tell all the young folks, because these animals' future really relies in their hands, to ensure that these guys are taken care of for years in the future, so that we can avoid being ran over with snakes and mice. I do want to thank all the students out in Lee County today for watching us. I do want to offer the invitation again, if anyone is ever over in Whitesburg, Kentucky, to stop by and look at our facility. And if any of the other schools or events around here would like for us to come out and do a program for them, all they need to do is just get in contact with the Letcher County Extension Office, and we'd be more than glad to come out to one of the schools. Cindy, I want to thank you all so much.
Thank you.